Your water bill just jumped $40, $60, maybe $80, and you have no idea why. You check the faucets, nothing's dripping. You checked under the sink, bone dry. So where is all that water going? Here's the answer that will genuinely surprise you. The most expensive leaks in your home make absolutely no sound, leave no puddle, and are sitting in places you've probably never thought to look. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to find every one of them and how to fix most of them today for under $20. Let's start with a number. The EPA estimates that household leaks waste nearly 1 trillion gallons of water across the United States every single year. 1 trillion. And the average leaky home is losing about 10,000 gallons annually. That's not a river somewhere. That's your money, quietly draining out of your house every single day. Now here's what I want you to keep in mind as we go through these 6 locations. The last one on this list is responsible for roughly 30% of all residential water waste, and almost nobody checks it. We'll get there. But first, let's start with the sneaky one that's probably already costing you money right now. The toilet. Not a running toilet, you'd hear that. I'm talking about a toilet with a failed flapper. The flapper is the rubber seal at the bottom of your tank that controls when water flows into the bowl. When it wears out, it lets water trickle silently into the bowl around the clock. Here's how to find out if yours is failing. Drop 10 drops of food coloring into the tank, not the bowl, the tank. Wait 15 minutes without flushing, and then look into the bowl. If the color has crept in, you have a slow leak. Most homeowners who do this test are shocked. A bad flapper can waste 200 gallons a day. Replacing one costs about $5 and takes 10 minutes. That's probably the best return on investment in all of home repair. Now here's something that surprises people. The fill valve, that's the tall mechanism also inside your tank that refills it after a flush, can fail in a way that sends water silently down the overflow tube. You won't see it from the outside. To check it, take the lid off your tank and look for a small plastic tube that runs from the fill valve over to a larger vertical tube in the center. If water is running into that overflow tube at all, your fill valve needs adjusting or replacing. Parts run about $10 to $15. Still no sound, still no puddle, just a number on your bill climbing every month. Let's move outside. Your outdoor hose bib, that's the spigot on the side of your house, develops a slow seep around the packing nut behind the handle almost every time you don't use it for a season and then reconnect a hose under pressure. Put your hand behind the handle while the water is on. Feel any moisture? That packing nut needs a half turn with a wrench, or the washer inside needs replacing.
Takes 5 minutes. But here's the one outside that really gets people. If you have an irrigation or sprinkler system, there is almost certainly a zone that's misfiring underground and you'd never know. A cracked lateral line or a stuck solenoid valve can run a sprinkler zone for hours at a time with nothing visible from your yard. The way to test this is to go to your irrigation controller and manually activate each zone one at a time. Walk the yard. Look for soggy patches, sunken ground, or one area that's dramatically greener than everywhere else. That green patch isn't healthy, it's drowning. Irrigation leaks are one of the top causes of sudden unexplained bill spikes, especially after winter. Now we need to talk about the water heater. Most people never think of their water heater as a leak source unless they walk into a flooded utility room, but the temperature and pressure relief valve, the TPR valve, is a safety device that can develop a slow weep over time. It's usually a small brass valve on the side of the tank with a pipe running down toward the floor. If that valve is releasing even a small trickle, it will quietly drain into the discharge pipe, and you'll never see it unless you physically touch the pipe to feel for warmth or moisture. This matters for 2 reasons. 1, it's wasting water. 2, if the valve is seeping, it may be doing so because your water pressure is too high, which is a whole separate problem we're going to park right here for a second. Your home's water pressure should be between 40 and 80 psi. Anything above 80 psi and your valves, fittings, and appliance connections are under constant stress. They'll fail faster, they'll seep quietly, and you won't find out until the bill arrives. A water pressure gauge costs about $10 at any hardware store. Screw it onto an outdoor hose bib, turn the water on, and read the dial. If you're above 80, you likely need a pressure-reducing valve adjusted or replaced. This is one of the highest leverage fixes in the entire house because it reduces stress on every single connection you have. Which brings us to the last one, and this is the one I promised would surprise you. It's not a fixture, it's not a valve, it's your main water meter. Here's what you do. Turn off every single water source in your house, everything. No dishwasher running, no ice maker, no irrigation timer. Then go out to your water meter. It's usually near the street in a small box in the ground, and look at the dial or the digital display. On most meters, there's a small triangle or star-shaped indicator called the leak detector. If it is spinning, even slowly, with everything in your house turned off, water is moving through your main supply line and it is going somewhere you cannot see. This is the test. This is the one that confirms whether you have a problem in the visible fixtures we've covered or something deeper in your supply line.
If the meter is moving and all your fixtures check out, you may have a leak in your underground main line, and that's the point where you call a licensed plumber with a leak detection kit before your yard becomes a sinkhole. Here are 3 pro tips to lock all of this in. First, do the meter test before you do anything else. It takes 2 minutes and tells you immediately whether you're dealing with a small fixture issue or something bigger. Second, replace toilet flappers on a schedule, every 3 to 5 years, whether they seem to need it or not. They cost $5, and failing ones are the single most common cause of unexplained bill increases. Third, if you have a smart home water monitor or leak sensor installed on your main supply line, it will catch slow leaks that the meter test misses. These devices run between $50 and $200, and they can detect flow as low as a quarter gallon per minute, enough to save you thousands a year. The leaks we talked about today are quiet, invisible, and expensive, but every single one of them is fixable by a homeowner in an afternoon with basic tools and parts that cost less than $20 at a hardware store. Run through the checklist today. Your next water bill will tell you exactly how much you just saved. If this video helped you find a leak, drop a comment below. Tell me which one it was, because I'm genuinely curious which of these 6 is hitting the most homes right now. Hit like if this was useful, subscribe for a new home tip every week, and watch the video on how to lower your water pressure the right way. It might be the most important 15 minutes you spend on your house this year.